Kinnan here from Fiction Atlas Press, bringing you another Indie Connection. Today I'm going to be telling you about some indie books that you might enjoy if you're a fan of The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. The first book I have for you is called Gatsby, My Story by Michael Spindler. Near the close of F. Scott Fitzgerald's novel The Great Gatsby, the narrator, Carraway, believes Gatsby to be dead, but the death and funeral have been faked, and Gatsby has escaped to Havana. There he builds a new career, and some years later sets out to put the record straight and counter Carraway's misinterpretation of events and people. In the course of his story, he explains his early life, his experience in the war, his time at Oxford, his hoodlum years, and his relationships with Arnold Rothstein, Jordan Baker, and Daisy. He provides a dramatic new perspective on the events of the summer of 1922 and reveals a complex and engaging character. The second book I have for you is called A Night at Gatsby's by Richard Vigilante. A Night at Gatsby's is an invitation to attend one of Jay Gatsby's fabulous Jazz Age parties and learn his story by listening to the characters' conversations over 6 scenes. All dialogue is taken directly from the novel. No first-person or other narrative content from the novel is being used. All dialogue spoken and all characters portrayed in this play were selected as being appropriate to take place at the single location of Gatsby's mansion. The play follows the novel's chronology from the initial rumors and lies about Gatsby through his reunion with Daisy and confrontation with Tom, and ends with Gatsby's death and lonely farewell. The third book I have for you is called Such Great Heights by Chris Cole. 1 part Gatsby, 1 part John Green, and 1 part Lana Del Rey, the perfect summer cocktail. The easy life is sometimes the hardest life of all. The words rang false to a 17-year-old Charlie Middle when he first heard his cousin Maisie utter them between sips of her gold-flaked martini, but by the end of the summer in California, they were among the truest words he had ever heard. Such Great Heights is a retelling of The Great Gatsby, by way of Social Network and Less Than Zero author Chris Cole, who puts a millennial wardrobe on the Jazz Age classic. We are offered a ringside seat for the impossible love story of kid billionaire Joss Stember and the heiress Maisie Landing. Told in heartbreaking detail through the eyes of Charlie, we watch these young lovers as they fight against the ceaseless waves of the past in a passionate attempt to make their way toward the shore of the present, battling their own demons and the demons that seem to prey upon them at every turn. Through the lens of recently graduated Midwest teen Charlie Middle, we are afforded a rarefied glimpse into a lifestyle that is usually kept under lock and key. Charlie's innocent summer internship in Silicon Valley quickly morphs into a crucible of excess and intrigue amidst the 1% of the 1%, fraught with star-crossed lovers, million-dollar cars, 24-hour parties, high-tech billionaires, and a pageantry of excess that would put Sodom and Gomorrah to shame, let alone the East and West Egg. And the last book I have for you is called The Lives They Chose by J.D. Jensen. Hoboken, New Jersey, the morning of January 24th, 1918. Daniel Conley, an Irish-American boy from Jersey City, is standing on the deck of the Liverpool-bound Tuscania, a luxury liner resurfaced to transport American troops to fight the war raging in Europe. A few weeks earlier, Daniel, a young 17-year-old, has accepted a job as a cook in the ship's galley, only to learn that rather than preparing the meals, he would instead be washing dishes. As Daniel watches the soldiers boarding the ship, he searches for one person in particular, Brodie Donaghy, hoping his childhood best friend isn't on the ship, but knowing in his heart that he is. After all, it was Daniel who had helped Brodie carry out his plan to board the Tuscania, posing as a young serviceman from Iowa, James O'Shea. Not meeting until the Tuscania is near the end of her journey, Daniel and Brodie, the 2 former friends, now enemies, part ways, unaware that lurking far below the surface of the Atlantic, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, is a far more deadly adversary, and when it finally attacks, when its full destructive powers are unleashed, the 2 boys from Jersey City will be tested in ways they have never imagined. Okay, that's all for me this week. I'll see you next week on the Indie Connection. Bye.